Jurassic World Evolution pairs the Jurassic Park license with the studio behind the fantastic Planet Coaster, a match made in heaven on paper. Whilst the game absolutely nails the movie's famous aesthetic, the deeper you delve, the more it becomes apparent that the depth just isn't quite there. The game does a fantastic job of easing you into the park construction. Games such as Planet Coaster can often feel a little overwhelming, which is not the case here. The game opens with the sultry tones of Jeff Goldblum, helping point you in the right direction.
Okay, this is as good a place as any to begin. Isla Matanceros.
Each element is slowly introduced. Hatch your first dinosaur, research your first set of fossils. Jurassic World Evolution guides the player in a fairly simple fashion, without being too restrictive. Gradually the player has their hand held less, until it's completely up to you. What's there of the tutorialisation in the game is well done, but it's worth pointing out that some of the more advanced elements, such as Dinosaur's comfort, more on that later, is barely touched upon. Jurassic World Evolution is actually much closer to a Zoo Tycoon style title than Planet Coaster, a more streamlined, focused park builder. The number of buildings on offer isn't the most extensive, but it still manages to get the job done. From various types of viewing points to essential buildings such as your ranger station, and even tourist-based stores such as a fast food shop or clothes shops. You will initially start with herbivores, but eventually the game will open up to include various carnivores. If you're anything like me, you'll curiously introduce your first carnivore into your park without realising the potential repercussions. Yep, those repercussions. Within seconds of hatching my first carnivore, off he trots towards his prey. I panicked, dispatching my helicopter in an attempt to tranquilise the beast. After halving my dino population, I finally managed to put him down. Turns out it might be a good idea to keep most carnivores and herbivores separate. Go figure. One of the neatest gameplay mechanics in Jurassic World is the ability to control your Ranger Jeeps or Asset Containment Unit helicopters directly in third person. You're able to take full control of both, allowing you to drive and fly around your entire park, cure dino diseases, tranquilise any that manage to break free, or just cruise around taking photos. You even get money for those photos. Often in park sims, any direct control or camera elements end up feeling relatively janky. That's not the case in Jurassic World, however. The Jeep and helicopter controls feel surprisingly solid. Kudos to Frontier for putting in effort here. The game's interface and controls are all fairly straightforward. I played the game with a controller and never felt hindered by the controls in any way. The developers have evidently focused on providing a polished experience no matter how you decide to play the game.
Good work.
Unfortunately though, the way you acquire new dinosaurs isn't quite so good. In fact, it ends up being one of the game's weakest points. You'll visit the map screen to see various dig sites which highlight what breed of dinosaur fossils you might find there. Click the dot, send the team to the dig site, and then just wait. After roughly 2 minutes, the timer expires. You'll then receive a random set of fossils varying in quality. Click on each fossil to research or sell them for a little bit of cash. Then of course, wait again. The whole research side of things ends up feeling like something more suited to a mobile game, a bunch of short timers in menus. I often found myself forgetting to jump back into the menu and send off my team to another dig site. It just felt like boring busy work, which is a real shame. Thankfully though, you have a fair amount of freedom of how to sculpt your park. You can place buildings wherever you see fit, introduce forests, flatten land, curve fences and manage a fairly straightforward power system. There's a decent amount of options available to make a park that feels like your own. Whilst it would have been nice to see some larger islands that were slightly less restricted, I never really felt like it hindered my enjoyment of the overall game. The dinosaurs themselves in Jurassic World Evolution are absolutely one of the best parts of the game. They look, sound and animate superbly. Frontier have managed to capture the infamous Jurassic Park vibe through and through. From the dinosaurs letting out a harrowing roar upon being introduced to the park for the first time, to the awesome visuals, the game absolutely nails the aesthetic. Managing the dinosaurs' comfort levels, however, isn't all that fun. Some might prefer more foresty areas whilst others prefer open plains, or maybe even need other dinos of the same species to socialise with. If one becomes uncomfortable after a short period, they'll attempt to break out, demolishing your fences in the process. Unfortunately, it's never really explained how this side of the game works, leading to some frustrating trial and error early on. Send the rangers to fix the fence, send the ACU to tranquilise the dinosaur, and finally send your transport team to collect the sleeping beast and drop it back into its pen. It starts to feel a little bit too regular at points, with some of the dinosaurs being far more picky than others, leading to constant breakouts. When that occurs, it really does start to feel like irritating busy work.
You need to medicate
Playing the game on an Xbox One X, the game ran surprisingly smoothly. Even with plenty of dinosaurs, guests and weather effects on screen, I noticed no slowdown whatsoever. The game's a definite looker too. The HDR lighting looks superb and the weather effects are notably detailed. When a storm results in an impressive downpour, everything looks visibly drenched, including the dinos themselves. The game's campaign takes place over various islands with different overall goals to accomplish. The starter island introduces various elements, the second features more volatile weather, introducing the player to some of the storm defense elements of the game, and the third island tasks you with bringing a struggling park out of depth into a flourishing attraction, and so on. On these islands you receive various subtasks to improve your reputation with the game's three factions: science, entertainment, security. Successful completion of each task includes a financial reward and will improve your standing with that faction, whilst potentially reducing standing with another. I didn't have too much problem balancing the reputation of these factions though, but it can feel like a little bit of a grind at times. When the reputation hits a certain level, you'll unlock the mission for that faction. These faction missions provide the main goals on each island. Jurassic Park World absolutely nails some things whilst falling flat on others. The game's aesthetic is near perfect, with some impressive visuals, solid performance and nostalgia-inducing music Easter eggs. It plays well too. This is a polished title through and through, clearly designed to bring the often complex park management sim style gameplay to the masses. Unfortunately though, there's some depth lost in that translation, something I would have loved to see Frontier find a better balance for. There's not a huge amount of buildings on offer, and the process to unlock new dinosaurs is a tedious mobile style grind. Once you've played the first few hours, there's just not that much left to look forward to. There's a lot to like here though. Jurassic Park World is a lot of fun. I had a blast managing my parks, experimenting with different dino combinations and just generally looking at the game. It really is a thrill seeing your very own Jurassic Park come to life. There's glimpses of something special here, but unfortunately the game just feels like it lacks the depth to keep players hooked and returning for the months to come.